Hello and welcome back to the Cars.co.za YouTube channel. I'm David Taylor and yes, it's time for another car review. This time around we've got the Omoda C7, the eagerly anticipated family SUV that slots between the C5 and C9. And I'm happy to report that this is one of the best family vehicles that we've driven on the channel. And before we get into product specifics and why this vehicle is one of the pleasant surprises of 2025, let me just remind you, 83,000 vehicles for sale on Cars.co.za. Right now, you can use our app, you can use your browser, just get onto the site, man. And also, there's 600 Omodas, including a lot of these. Right, Carl, do your thing.
Come on, Cars.co.za. Save your finger and log on to Cars.co.za so you can pick up where you left off. Cars.co.za also learns what gets your engine running and then shows you more cars that are your type. Legit.
So what exactly is an Omoda C7? And yes, and I feel like I'm doing this almost every week. Omoda is part of the Chery group, but that also includes brands like Jaku, Chery itself. There'll be Lepus, which is launching vehicles in early 2026. That's on the premium side of things. And of course, there's the off-road brand Jetour. Now, when it comes to product specifics, the C7 slots in between the entry-level fashionable C5 and the big premium SUV, the C9. Pricing, well, I'll unpack all the pricing at the end and tell you whether it's value for money or not, but right now you can get into an Omoda C7 from 540,000 Rand, thereabouts. There are three derivatives. There are two 1.6 turbo 4-cylinders, plus there is a 1.5 plug-in hybrid. And given my experience with the plug-in hybrids, they're always really good. But if you don't want the complexity of a plug-in hybrid, then I suggest the next few minutes are worth your while. I want to talk about the C7 styling, and Sean has shot some beautiful footage for this. And the cool thing about car design is either you love it or you hate it. And I love how extroverted this thing is. I love the attention to detail, like these daytime running lights, the startup animations built into the bumper. But there's a part of me, and call me cynical or jaded or whatever, but if you have a bumper bashing, I don't want to know how much it is to replace that sparkly shiny bumper. And it's also things like when you lock the vehicle at night and the tail lights flash like this red lightning logo. It's so over the top, but I think it's so cool. Like, you need cars that are out there and extroverted. Let's talk about the engine and transmission of the Omoda C7. See, I'm in my comfy mode. That gives you an idea of just how comfortable and relaxed this car is. But I digress. The engine is a 1.6 turbocharged 4-cylinder petrol. Of course it is, because this is the group motor. There's so many products from the Chery group that are using this motor. But this one, they've turned the power up a bit. So you get 145 kilowatts and 290 newton meters. There's no CVT. Instead, you get a 7-speed dual clutch box. I would have liked some paddles here, guys. Come on. Instead, I get this cute little gear selector, and that's it, really. You have to leave the car's software to do all the shifting for you. Now, in case you're wondering, the other engine that's offered, that's the plug-in hybrid model. Now, we've had this powertrain in a variety of other cars, like the Jaku J7 SHS and the Tiggo 7 from Chery, the CSH. 255 kilowatts and over 500 newton meters from a 1.5 turbocharged 4-cylinder petrol, along with an electric motor. The real party piece of that powertrain, however, is the range and efficiency, because between fill-ups, Omoda is claiming over 1,000 kilometers, which is really impressive. But if you don't want the complexity of a plug-in hybrid powertrain and having to charge it up every so often, just stick to the 1.6 turbos. In terms of fuel economy, the Omoda C7 is said to consume 7.5 liters per 100. Now, if I go through the settings here, this car in its lifespan, now bear in mind, the little asterisk of disclaimer here, this car only has 700 kilometers on the clock, so it's not run in. This engine is still feeling a little bit tight, and as a result, it's not quite as efficient as I think it should be. It was averaging 10.5, but on the course of today's shoot, I've got it down to 8.6. And I think realistically, if you're getting between 8 and 8.5 liters per 100, I think that is a fair representation of this car's powertrain. So what is the C7 like to drive? Now, the cool thing is, Omoda has said we've got driving modes. They've kept it nice and simple. We've got normal, sport, eco. And Sport with the DCT should mean the vehicle is responsive, but is it? Right, 65 k's an hour, 5th gear. Let's put our foot flat and see what happens. Into 3rd, 80, 90, 100. Okay, well, I don't feel like the car's lacking in performance. That's all right. I think that is acceptable performance. Again, a disclaimer, I will do a 0 to 100 kilometer test on this vehicle once the car's run in. So over the next couple of days, I'm going to put some serious miles on, and then we'll do the test. And about now, you're going to see the testing data, which will take place a few days after this video. In terms of ride quality and refinement, this is a big step up, and let me tell you why. Sean and I, we've had the pleasure / misfortune of having to evaluate pretty much every new car vehicle that is launched in South Africa over the past 8 months. And you can see the marked improvements incrementally over each vehicle that's come from the Chery Group. So little criticisms, I swear it feels like we've criticized the car, they've told the factory, and then they brought out an improvement on this vehicle. And I can happily say, hand on heart, the C7 is probably the best riding family SUV from China currently right now. And that's pretty impressive considering that A, this road is not exactly perfect, it's a little bit choppy, but the wheels are doing a good job. And speaking of, those are 19-inch wheels wrapped in, thankfully not low profile tires. But I will say that the car, given its sporty looks and slightly sporty powertrain, deserves a bit more of a sporty feel. Like this steering is, I mean, look at this, I'm wiggling the car. Like, we're not actually turning. Oh, there we go. There's some, oh no, that's terrible. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the steering in sport. Okay, there's a little bit more weighting there, and that helps to a degree. Okay, by now you're probably thinking, oh great, this is hashtag best car ever and Dave's in love. But no, there's a couple of little niggles that I'm not appreciating. And the first of which is the ADAS system. It's just a little too intrusive for my liking. And let me tell you why. Okay, first of all, I understand why ADAS system exists, because the majority of accidents on the world's roads are caused by human error. Guaranteed, 100%. So I can understand why the ADAS system is going, oh, I've got trust issues here. So unfortunately, if you even veer towards the solid lane, the car's good. Yeah, there we go. There's the vibration on the steering wheel, and it's gently nudged me back in. And if I keep doing that, it's going to start shouting at me. Thankfully, all of this stuff is pretty easy to switch off, and it'll stay off as well. Also, I'm glad to see that one of the big Chery culprits was this eye monitoring software camera that would stare at you, and the moment you looked away, it would beep at you. That is not here. I'm grateful for that. We've had some peculiar bugs on this car, and I'm going to hope and pray that it's unique to this exact C7 and no other C7s. But silly things like we tried to open the tailgate to get all the camera gear out, and the button on the boot latch didn't respond. The key didn't respond, and we had to go through the car settings and find a remote access button for the tailgate to finally get open. And yeah, it's little niggles like that. And another thing that we noticed, that the car's got this clever thing where it'll tell you when the vehicle in front has pulled off, so basically prompts you to start driving. And it says, car in front has drived off or drived away. And it's, you'd think, guys, for a brand that has been in South Africa for 2 years, and we've seen this in other Chery Group products, things like grammar, language, syntax, all of that is an easy fix. And if you want to be taken seriously as a brand, like, it's that attention to detail that needs to be taken care of. And another one of the glitches that we've encountered is the access mode on the seats. So now access mode is a pretty straightforward feature. You switch the car off, the seat will slide backwards and go down to allow you to get in and out of the car nice and easy. So there'd be times where we'd switch the car off, the seat would go back, we'd get in, and then the seat wouldn't restore back to the driver's position. You'd then have to manually adjust the seat, and then it would want you to save that seat. It's just, I just want some consistency with my cars, guys. And you know that with the brands from China, the speed of development and scale of operation is so massive. Like, these are quick fixes. I just don't understand why they're still here 2 years after introduction. So yeah, these are tiny little niggles that have just annoyed Sean and I over the past 2 or 3 days. And it's a little bit frustrating given the aspirations of these brands. I mean, they want market dominance, but it's just the attention to detail. But for me, it's great to see that despite these little niggles, which should be easy fixes, the basics are being ticked. So criticisms about throttle mapping, ride quality, steering feel, they have been addressed. The thing is, when you want to sell a vehicle to a mainstream audience, you don't want to upset them. They don't care about cars. They just want to get in, be comfortable, and get from A to B with the minimum of engagement. They just want to get in and drive. And I think cars like the C7 will push the brand to new heights. So where exactly is Omoda throwing the C7 into? Like I said, guys, pricing from 540,000 Rand. And if you want a big family SUV, and guys, I implore you to look at this car with your own eyes and walk around and climb in, because I don't think photos or this video will do justice based on the sizing and proportion. I mean, yes, the styling is quite bold and out there, but this is bigger than you expect. And when you consider big-sized family SUVs, that's things like your Haval H6, your Chery Tiggo 8, which is a good shout, by the way, because that's a 3-row SUV. So if you need to carry 7 people, Tiggo 8, well worth a look. Your traditional legacy brands like your Toyota RAV4, but they're really expensive now. I mean, you're getting into those from about 750, 800, which is frightening. Volkswagen Tiguan, Kia Sportage, Hyundai Tucson, Mazda CX-5. I mean, there's a few of those that are being updated or being replaced by all new models like the CX-5 in 2026. But right now, for the money, guys, the C7 is really hard to beat. The cabin of the Omoda C7 is a really pretty aesthetic place to be. It looks so cool. But hear me out for a second, and this is just anecdotal. Now, you must understand that I've driven majority of the Chinese manufacturer products, and there's so much familiarity here. This instrument cluster, we've seen that in a number of Chery Group products. This screen, it's deja vu. I was in the Chery Tiggo 9 just 2 weeks ago, and I had exactly the same system. And guys, sharing parts is not a problem, because using similar things for similar products, it all keeps the cost down. In terms of materials used and fit and finish, this is nice. This doesn't feel cheap and nasty. Like, these are nice panels, the switches, that is a really nice door handle. That's nice. These are cool, nice faux leather wrapped. Yeah, this is cool, nice wireless charging pad. They do have some of the gloss black plastic around the steering wheel, and then it starts to look like a crime scene with the fingerprints. But again, easy to wipe. I can just do that and they're gone. Yeah, in terms of fit and finish, C7 nails it. There's 2 trim levels available, elegance and luxury. Luxury gets you into the range. Elegance is the highest spec model. But guys, I'm going to say that at the price, the value for money offering, both are good. You don't have to fork out extra for the highest spec model. Comfort features are standard across the range. You get this nice big infotainment screen, you get a pano roof, you get 19-inch wheels, you get this leather upholstery, you get the assisted driving safety tech. Like, that's really cool. But if you do decide to take the plunge and go for the highest spec elegance, you'll get things like the heated ventilated front seats. You'll also get additional airbags. You'll get more speakers for the audio system, and there's a whole number of extra features. Is it a must-have? I don't think so. I think the luxury model is potentially the one to have. Things I don't like so far, well, again, it's fallen into the trap of minimal buttons. I mean, it's nice to have my climate control things here, these nice switch gear on the driver select, and there's a nice volume control. But things like adjusting the mirrors, I mean, granted, you're not going to be changing mirrors every single time, but you have to do this in the screen. And this takes like what feels like 1 to 2 working days to go into the settings, find the mirrors. Like, guys, it's just what happened to a little switch over here. That's all I need in my life. One of the C7's strong points is its wheelbase. Now, for me, wheelbase is the metric for success for cabin and interior space, and the C7 has one of the longest in segment. The top honors belong to the Hyundai Tucson, so consider that if you want to carry lots of passengers often. The C7 has got some really fun, interesting features, and I can appreciate this level of detail. Firstly, sunglass holder up there. Now, you'd go, oh, why is it there? Why isn't the handle there? Like, why would you be needing the handle if you're driving? Both hands on the wheel. Sunglasses over here, easy. But on a hot day today, because right now 29.5 degrees, it's a hot day. This little storage area, this is chilled because there's an aircon plumbing vent that comes through here. So these are nice and cold. So a canned coffee. There we go. Ah, cheers. For the C7 to be successful as a family car, it needs to have space, and truth be told, it delivers. Very few cars that we've tested, Sean and I, have had this much space for this little money. It's bizarre how good this car is in terms of rear space. Look at this. Feet as far forward as possible, still plenty of knee room. Don't need the indents here because wheelbase long, I have all the space in the world. Headroom, plenty. I mean, don't forget I do have a pano roof here, so even if I try, I still can't. Okay, there, I can just touch, if I really stretch up, I can touch the roof. Yeah, this is really, really great. In terms of connectivity and comfort options, I've got my own individual climate controls over here. I wish I could adjust the temperature, that would be nice, but can't have everything, I suppose, at this price. USB-A, USB-C, little storage pockets. Yeah, I could see myself very comfortable on a long open road trip here. Sean, should we go home yet? In terms of boot space, and excuse the wind noise because everybody in Cape Town loves the Southeaster. No, boo, boo Southeaster, boo. Right, C7, 614 litres of boot space. What does that translate to in the real world? Guys, budget cooler box test, you know how it is. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with a parcel shelf, close that, close, automated tailgate, job done. Okay, let's talk the money. Omoda C7, which like I said is positioned between C5 and C9. You can get into one of these from 540,000 Rand. The next one up, that is the Elegance, that's 590,000 Rand. And for 100 grand more, you can get into the plug-in hybrid. And like I said, guys, if you're willing to try out a new powertrain and enjoy the fuel efficiency and really long range, have a good look at the plug-in hybrids. But right now, I do think the pick of the range is just go for a standard 1.6 turbo. The Omoda C7 comes with a 5-year 150,000k warranty and a 5-year 70,000k service plan. But remember guys, for the first owner, there is that 10-year 1 million kilometer engine warranty. So that's worth considering. And in comparison to its rivals, well, you know, the Chinese brands have got statement of intent. They really want to make inroads with a great warranty and after sales. Okay, let me give you my final thoughts and summary of the Omoda C7. And it's positive. For me, I see this car as Omoda JQ Cherry Group listening to the feedback that motoring journalists, customers, focus groups have all said, you need to fix X, Y, Z, get the basics right. And I feel like the C7 is the result of that. It does so much right. But for me, the feather in the cap is the pricing and value for money. And again, with the pricing structure, you don't feel compelled to buy upwards. Like, we know what it's like with motoring manufacturers. They will launch the poverty spec with nothing in it. You'd be lucky if you get a steering wheel. And then they go, well, for 500 extra a month, over 72 months, you can get the nicer one. And I don't feel like this is the case here. And the C7, yes, the styling is extroverted and out there, and it's not going to win everyone's favors, but I love how bold and different it is. And if you do decide to buy one, please buy the pearl bluey pink color. This is really awesome. And there's also like a minty toothpaste color. Give me interesting colors. In terms of powertrain choices, I'm happy with this 1.6. It's got enough performance and punch. You've seen our fuel run data, you've seen my 0 to 100. This car is adequate. But the space, the value for money, what you get as standard, it's a really compelling product. And it's resolved. I think this is a new chapter for the Chinese brand. And guys, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching and getting to learn more about the Omoda C7. Remember guys, 83,000 vehicles for sale on Cars.co.za and almost 600 Omodas. So if you don't want an Omoda, well, there's plenty of things else to choose from. I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye.
Wanna buy a Honda? Cars.co.za is the smartest way to go when looking for your next car. With a simple search engine that even speaks South African. Potsotso! Download the Cars.co.za app now.